Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So I'm hoping my analysis here is going to be a little bit more professional than one of the videos doing the rounds featuring Tanya Stevenson and a few others. I don't know who they are. It's atrocious. It really is. No idea what they're going on about. No idea what their running order. They're just jumping in left, right and centre over each other. Very, very poorly produced and clearly wasn't edited or didn't go to the editor at all. So hopefully mine's a little bit more professional than that, and I go through things in the correct order. We're going to start off talking about the NAP competition, where we will have a special this week for the Grand National. As long as you submit one horse in your normal NAPs that runs at Aintree on Thursday, Friday and Saturday, so you just have to have at least one on each of the days, you will be included in the 2024 festival, Grand National Festival competition, and you can win if you get the top score. Obviously, over those 3 days, you will win cash, free ratings, and a winner's mug. And second and third in this competition will also win free ratings. As I said, you must select at least one horse from your NAP next best or third best on all 3 days that runs at Aintree. They don't all have to run at Aintree, and it doesn't have to be your NAP. It could be your third best on all 3 days runs at Aintree. You could do your NAP and next best run at Aintree on day 1 and just your third best on day 2 runs at Aintree. Totally up to you, but as long as you have at least one horse from those 3 on all 3 days, you will qualify. How do you enter the NAP competition? Very simple. Use our drop downs on the left hand side, select your NAP, your next best and third best. And once you've done that, go up to NAP 33, click on it, and if you're logged in, it will then ask you to opt in with Twitter. If it does, and you're a new member and you've never opted in with Twitter, it will give you a very scary message saying we can go and do all sorts with your Twitter account. We can't. Don't worry about that. All we do is when you submit your selections, we post this on your behalf, a entry tweet. So it's quite a nice professional looking entry tweet. And it also means that we're very transparent in that everybody can see everybody's selections. When you hide people's selections or when you don't make them visible, you open the door of being suggested that you've edited the results or you've even edited the NAPs. Say this person selected Nilo Far, the New Lion and King of the Road. We can see that that's what he selected. If in 3 hours time he comes back and goes, I didn't select Nilafar, you did, unfortunately. We can see that from here. I selected the winner. Mr. Paul Kelly wouldn't do that at all. He's really good. But it just stops people from being able to try and suggest that you've either edited the results or not edited the results, edited their naps after the event, or have let somebody win because they're your friend. That happens in a lot of competitions when they go, retweet this and we'll pick a winner. They retweet it, loads of people retweet it, and then it goes, this supposed prize goes to somebody who they know, who isn't going to say that they didn't get the prize. That happens a lot as well. Bookmakers have even done that. There's a few bookmakers I've called out on that. One last year, there was a competition that ran where they didn't even say how you were doing. All they did was provide a winner's score at the end. And can you tell me my score? And they're like, no, you're not high enough. We can't be bothered to work it out, which was terrible. But anyway, so that's how you enter the NAP competition. Let's go through the analysis for tomorrow, just to clear something up very, very quickly. These are not my NAPs. I will clear that, and I will clear my third best as well, because they are not actually my 3 selections. So let's kick off with the analysis. First race, the 145 at Aintree. First race of the Aintree Festival is the Manifesto Novices Chase, the Grade 1, over 2 miles, 3 furlongs and 200 yards. I'm pretty confident of this one, to be honest. And this will be might be my nap. It is quite a short price, and I might want a bit of a bigger price nap. Totally expect Grey Dawning to win this, though. Grey Dawning has the beating of Ginny's Destiny on their Cheltenham form. He's also beaten him a couple of times. Ginny's Destiny won when Grey Dawning made that terrible mistake. So it took a mistake for Ginny's Destiny to beat Grey Dawning. If they both jump round cleanly, Grey Dawning wins again, in my opinion. The ground, it's soft, heavy in places. We know Grey Dawning is absolutely fine with that. He beat Ginny's Destiny in a Grade 2 at Warwick. Back in, I'm just having a look on my other screen when it was. It was last season over hurdles in a Grade 2. Is it the Leamington? Is that what it's called? Or am I just being a lemon? It is called the Leamington. He beat Ginny's Destiny by 5 lengths on heavy going at Warwick. That's kind of what I think he'll do again with the ground. I'd be disappointed if Grey Dawning is beaten by Ginny's Destiny. The ground also kind of puts me off Il Était Temps, because although Il Était Temps will handle the ground, he's stepping up in trip already. He's already going from the Arkle route up to this distance, the 2.5 mile trip. I think plus the going where it's going to be testing, I think that could just find him out, and we might see that he's not as good as Grey Dawning. I don't think Grey Dawning is as good as Gaelic Warrior, who only beat Il Était Temps by 5 and a bit lengths, but Gaelic Warrior had plenty left, and Il Était Temps was just finishing second under a gentle ride, so to speak. So yeah, I think Grey Dawning is the one to beat in the first race, and he is priced accordingly. Let's just load up my other browser where I'm viewing these odds, because on Chrome my odds are currently unavailable because I've used my clicks for the day on Odds Checker. Mental. Anyway, so even money about Grey Dawning. Let's just refresh that page, make sure they are the current odds as of recording of this video, rather than again saying odds that were available 3 hours ago and then talking about them. That's why videos are so much better than blogs and articles, because those odds you can't see whether they were actually available. It's Grey Dawning, even money, fully expect him to win, to be honest. Back to the ratings, or second day. So you can see that these ratings, I'm not showing them. I'm just showing the basic stats, because premium members pay for the ratings, and I can't be giving that away for free in a video. 220, the Juvenile Grade 1. I was a little bit disappointed with the entries here. Again, I'm pretty confident of who I like here. And that horse is Carges. I think she hit the front slightly too early at Cheltenham when being run down by Majborough. We highlighted both of those before the race and said they were the main two in the race. And Carges just went a little bit early. I think if she'd been held on to a little bit longer, she would have really pushed Majborough. She still finished second in it. She still ran a really good race in the Triumph, and I think she beats Dirty Den, Interletto, Nürburgring. The dangers are Sir Gino and Caliph de Burley. Now, Caliph de Burley is the Paul Nicholls horse. I'm not as big a fan. I'm not that keen on him, to be honest. I thought his Adonis win was good, but he only beat Gimme 5. He was only beating Gimme 5 by 3/4 of a length. That, for me, isn't strong enough form. Gimme 5 has gone over to Ireland to a Fairyhouse to a Grade 2 and been well beaten behind Bottler's Secret, Carl de Terrell and Miss Manzor. I mean, that's not good enough form for me to suggest that Caliph de Burley is right up there and good enough to win a Grade 1. And in terms of Sir Gino, so first of all, we've got the Nicky Henderson angle that we still have to be a little bit worried about, but also both of his runs have come on good to soft ground. I think they're running here. I think if they'd run at Cheltenham and potentially won a Triumph Hurdle or gone really close to the Triumph Hurdle, I don't think they'd be running here because of the ground. I think they're only running here because they're like, well, we missed Cheltenham. We've got to try and get him a Grade 1 as a juvenile. Both of his runs have come on good to soft ground. And yes, he's been very impressive in those. But I just worry that the ground is going to just hold him back slightly. Okay, he's won at Auteuil on heavy going. But he only beat Salvatore Mundi that day by a length and 3/4. Now, Salvatore Mundi went and ran in the Triumph Hurdle and finished 6th, beaten 17 lengths by Majborough. For me, that suggests that Sir Gino didn't perform as well at Auteuil on that heavy going as he did on the good to soft ground. I think if the Auteuil race had been on good to soft, Sir Gino would beat Salvatore Mundi by a lot further. And I just feel that means that Sergino isn't as good on the soft, very soft ground, the heavy going that he encountered at Auteuil, whereas Cargès will have no issues with that whatsoever. We also still, as I said, have that slight doubt about the Henderson form. Ari's horse is running well. We'll find out with Sergino, but I'm happy to take him on with Cargès, who is currently available at... Let's just refresh that page. Currently available at 7-2, and I think that's a fair price. I think we've got the rest beat, and I've got question marks about Sergino, both on the ground and the Henderson form. So I'm happy to take Cargès in the Juvenile Hurdle, the Grade 1. We move on to the 255, the bet... I was going to call it the Betway Bowl. It's not called that anymore. It's the William Hill Bowl. Grade 1, 3 mile. It's like the Gold Cup of Aintree. And who do we have in this race that I'm keen on? It's got to be Jerry Colombe, to be honest. Ahoy Senor could certainly bounce back, but he's not been great this season. Thought they might have ended up in the handicap with him. Brave Man's Game, not the same horse this season for sure. Gentleman's Game isn't good enough for me. Thunder Rock, I don't think wants this trip, and I don't think it's good enough. So then we're down to 3. Corbett's Cross, who is still a novice, but he's a novice. Obviously, he loses that at the end of the season. He's been beaten by Grange Clare West this season. He got beat by Grange Clare West and who was second at Nace 5 runs ago now. Hartwood. Neither of those two would have a chance in this race. Why on earth is Corbett's Cross? I don't understand why he's so short. He's so short based on that he was very, very impressive over that long distance race at Cheltenham. That's not good enough for me. Yeah, and I think he's going to find that he's not quite good enough at this level, at this stage. Maybe next season Corbett's Cross might be better suited in this race and have more of a chance, but not this season for me. So that leaves me with Josh Shishkin and Jerry Colombe. Jerry Colombe finished second in the Cheltenham Gold Cup behind Galopin Des Champs. Huge effort. Had previously finished second behind Galopin Des Champs. And has also finished second to the Real Wacker. That's it. The rest of the races he's won. He's a very, very good horse. Came to Aintree last season. He won the Mild May comfortably from Complete Unknown, Bron and Galia de la Tour. Granted, they are handicappers, very good handicappers. And he won it comfortably, but at least he's got that form around Aintree to his name. I totally expect him to beat Shishkin, who I'm not as keen on for the ground. Yes, he beat Hitman, but he beat the soft finishing Hitman last time out of Newbury. That in front of Protectorat, who didn't stay. Sam Brown, yeah, he's won since, but in a handicap, and does he know is just not good enough. I think the heavy ground was... Shishkin won despite the ground and would definitely prefer better going. You can see a lot of his runs have come on better going, good to soft, good, etc. They know that they don't really want this ground. Again, I think they're just running here because they've missed Cheltenham. He's another one, I think if he'd run at Cheltenham and gone well, he wouldn't be running here on this soft, heavy going. So Jerry Colombe is my selection in the William Hill Bowl. Let's have a look at his price. That's not the bowl. Where's the bowl gone? Here it is. Jerry Colombe is currently available at 7-4. I think that's a fair price, to be honest. Corbett's Cross, I think, is too short. Okay, we continue. We move on to the Aintree Hurdle. And if you follow my videos, you'll know who I'll be selecting here, because it's 2.5 miles over hurdles. That is exactly what Bob Ollinger wants. Bob Ollinger is one of the best 2.5 mile hurdlers around, in my opinion, if not the best 2.5 mile hurdler. He doesn't run as well over shorter distances or further. 2.5 mile is his optimum. He's already won this season over 2.5 mile. Last time out, he finished second behind State Man in the Champion Hurdle. That was fine. He just didn't have the speed for that, which isn't a surprise. He beat Marie's Rock comfortably by 7 lengths at Cheltenham in January. Over 2.5 mile in the rail kill, and he also won the Lismullen Hurdle at Navan, beating Zanahir by a length over 2.5 mile. 2.5 mile is his optimum. He's won at Cheltenham in the Golden Miller. Granted, Galopin de Champ fell that day. He'd beaten Capodanno at Punchestown in a Grade 3 over 2.5. He beat Bacardi's in a Beginner's Chase over 2.5. He won the Ballymore over 2 mile 5. He'd won at Nace over 2 mile 4. Beating Blue Lord. He beat Dunboyne by 14 in a Maiden Hurdle over 2.5. The only time he's been beaten over 2.5 was actually by Home by the Lease in a Grade 2, the Liss Mullen, a couple of years ago, when he finished second. And I don't believe that Impere Pass is quite as good as we was hoping or we believed he was last year. I personally think he's a 2-miler, and he couldn't beat Bob Ollinger over 2 mile in the Champion Hurdle. I don't see him reversing that form over 2.5, to be honest. So I'm very happy with Bob Ollinger in the Aintree Hurdle. Good old Langadan runs here, but I don't think he's going to be anywhere near good enough to beat those top 2 in the market. Let's have a look at their prices. Refreshing it so we can see their live prices. 6 to 4, 11 to 8, 11 to 8 about Bob Ollinger. Impere Pass 7 to 4 in most places. 11 to 8 about Bob Ollinger. I think it's fair. I think he is the one to beat. I don't like any of the others. It is a 2-horse race for me, but it is also a 2-horse race based on the betting. We move on to the 405, the Fox Hunters. So the first race over those national fences, and I like 2 here. And again, we are going to start with the obvious one, and that is the favourite, It's On The Line. So It's On The Line, I thought, ran a really good race in the Fox Hunters at the Cheltenham Festival. Is it called the Fox Hunters? It's not, is it? It's just the Hunter Chase. At the Cheltenham Festival, considering he ran no sort of race in terms of he was never on it. Jockey gave him a great ride, Derek O'Connor. If It's On The Line turns up and actually wants to run tomorrow, I think he'll win comfortably. I really do. I think he'll show that he's significantly better than a regular Hunter Chaser. It's all about if the horse turns up and actually wants to win. Even if he doesn't, he's going to run another big race. So I think you've got you're getting quite a fair price, or you're getting a very good price, I think, for It's On The Line for this race. He went off 11 to 8 favourite at Cheltenham. I think he should be nearer that tomorrow, to be honest. And you can currently get 9 to 2 about him on the basis that he got beat at Cheltenham. He got beat, but he was never travelling, never going a yard for Derek O'Connor. Derek gave him a great ride. If he runs tomorrow, whatever was holding him back, and if he turns up and goes, okay, I'm going to run tomorrow, on the day he'll say, I'll run today, I think he'll win that quite comfortably. So you'll be getting 9 to 2 about a horse that I think should be nearer 6 to 4, 11 to 8 sort of thing. If he doesn't want to run and doesn't want to win, or even, make any sort of effort, I think the biggest danger is the 13-year-old, down, where is he? Oh, right near the top, because it's in alphabetical order, Benny's King, for Dan Skelton and Sean O'Connor. So Sean's got a couple of rides recently for Dan Skelton, including riding this horse recently at Leicester, and winning a Hunter Chase by 23 lengths, beating Hardline and Cat Tiger. Now, both of those were decent horses, to be fair. Espoir de Tay back and forth. A decent horse coming back from Hunter Chase, running it now in Hunter Chases. I think that was a very impressive performance. And I think they've got him back to running well. And it may well have been that they've got him back running well at the right time, because he ran in this race last year. He finished second behind Famous Claremont, who was our selection that day. Famous Claremont was very unlucky at Cheltenham. Why would Benny's King not run another big race here? I think Benny's King is going to go very close here. He's the one that if It's On The Line doesn't run, or doesn't consent to give his all, Benny's King, I think, is the one to beat. And you can currently get 8 to 1 about him. As you know, we always ignore the outliers. There's 17 to 2. We always look for the one just below that, unless there's multiples top price, but there's not. But there's plenty of 8s available. Bet365, 88 Sport, Betfair. Not them. Bet UK, just about. So yeah, 8 to 1 about Benny's King. But I do think It's On The Line at 9 to 2 is a fair bet, to be honest. I think he will consent to run tomorrow to his best and beat these quite comfortably. And finally, we move on to the 440, the Red Rum Handicap Chase, the 2 mile chase. And the horse I like here is actually being very well supported now. I did tweet this a few days ago when the entries came out, who I was going to be selecting. So if you keep an eye on my tweets, you can get ahead of the game. And it is Saint Ouen. I hope I said that right with a good French accent. Why do I like Saint Ouen? Well, I think he was unlucky in terms of the handicapper was very harsh on him for Cheltenham. I mean, some of the horses that had been dropped, I compared him to Langadan at Cheltenham. Langadan had been dropped so much over like 3 runs for not running great, and yet the handicapper didn't do that with Saint Ouen. Saint Ouen had turned up to Cheltenham in 2023, rated 153. After some disappointing runs this season, including being beaten 47 lengths, 18 lengths, 65 lengths, he turned up at 152, just a pound lower for the handicap. I thought he ran a really good race for 6th. Now, the handicapper has dropped him another couple of pounds. He's dropped him back down to 150 now. We know he's got some good Aintree form. He finished 2nd in the Manifesto last year behind Banbridge. That's a very good run. Banbridge on that day was class. He also is better off with quite a few of those around him from last time out. For example, Unexpected Party, who was in the race, rated 138 that today, is now rated 146. That's +8, plus the -2 for Saint Ouen. So that's £10 pull Saint Ouen to Unexpected Party. I think that might be enough to reverse the form, particularly, as I said, Saint Ouen's got some good form here. Path de Rue ran off 142. He goes up £2 to 144. So Saint Ouen is £4 better off with Path de Rue. I never say Path. It's Path de Rue, isn't it? I'm not. Is it Northern where you say Path or Welsh Path? I used to have somebody at school that said Path. Anyway, I get distracted. I think Saint Ouen here, they'll be really trying. Everything is in his favour. He's so much better off in the handicap now with some of those that beat him. And I think he will not take all of the beating. I think he's going to run a very, very big race. And he's quite nicely priced. You can see he is getting supported, but you can still get 6-1 about him. 88 Sport and Coral, yeah. And Ladbrokes, yeah. And what on earth is that? Did I say Midnight? Yeah, whoever they are. They'll be gone in a few weeks, won't they? This is why Odds Checker are losing money and wanting to charge you to see the odds, because they're using bookmakers that I've never even heard of. So yeah, Saint Ouen at 6-1. I think he will go very close here on these new terms with the likes of Unexpected Party and Path de Rue. So quick recap. Grey Dawning at even money. I think he beats Ginny's Destiny again. He's got the soft ground form to back that up. Il Était Tom, I think this might be too far on this ground. Jerry Colombe has only been beaten by Galopin de Champs and the Real Wacker. This track will suit him. He ran a blinder last year over this course and distance, and I don't think Shishkin really wants this ground, and Corbett's Cross, I think, might be better in this race next year. Bob Ollinger is a 2.5 mile specialist. I think he beats Impere Pass. They should be well clear of the rest. It's on the line. If he consents to give his all, I think wins this quite comfortably. If he doesn't, Benny's King, who finished 2nd in this race last year and bounced back to form under Sean O'Connor last time, is the big danger. And finally, in the 440, Saint Ouen, on these new terms with the likes of Unexpected Party and Path de Rue, I think will be able to win, especially using his Aintree form, where he finished a very good 2nd to Banbridge.